It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Welcome to the Science Bowl. Play along with us today with our two outstanding elementary schools. Let's meet them right now. First, from North Forestville, would you please say hello to our first contestant, Brandon Johnson. In the center, Kiara Smith. And joining her, Jamaica Wiggins. And from Seat Pleasant Elementary School, our team consists of, first of all, Manaya Muffin. In the center, James Wigfall. And joining him is Janina Lumues. And now here are the categories of questions we use on Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
Here on Science Bowl, we arrange our game board according to question difficulty, with the easier questions on the left worth 5 and 10 points, and the tougher ones worth 15, 20, and ultimately 25, the toughest of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points apiece. No penalties ever for incorrect answers. At the end of the 2 rounds, one of these 2 good-looking teams will come back to play our game again. Let's make sure everything's working properly. Let's go to Kiara. Kiara, would you push your buzzer so we can see that it works? All right, looks like it's A-OK. Good luck to you, to Brandon, and to Jamaica. And James, would you try your buzzer? Thank you, young man. Looks like it's in fine shape, too. Good luck to you, to Janina, and Manaya. Let's have a good game here. We go alphabetically N before S, so North Forestville, let's play the bowl. Kiara, give me a category and a number.
Body systems for 15.
Body systems for 15 points. Teams, to start out, we have a multiple choice question. On television, SpongeBob on one episode lost his laugh box. We don't have a laugh box, but we do have a voice box. Is our voice box called the epiglottis, the pharynx, or the larynx? Which of those 3 is the exact name for our voice box? Okay. Seat Pleasant. Which is it? Is it the epiglottis, the pharynx, or the larynx?
The larynx.
The larynx it is. Absolutely right. That's why you get laryngitis, when that gets inflamed and you can't talk. Go green. Nice, James. Good.
Potpourri for 5.
Potpourri for 5 points. Teams, an oxymoron is a phrase where things are opposite and don't go together, like jumbo shrimp or pretty ugly. There's a medication that you can put on if you've sprained a muscle that sounds like it helps get something warm and then cool it down. It's called icy what? Icy what? Kiara.
Icy hot.
Icy hot, that's right. An oxymoron. You've got the 2 together there. Okay. Red. Kiara, your turn.
Zoo Parade for 10.
Zoo Parade for 10 points. Teams, your question is as follows. Unlike most birds, these birds have heavy bones to help them to dive, and you recognize them as being the birds in the animated film Madagascar. Okay, Seat Pleasant.
Penguins.
Penguins. The penguins of Madagascar, right. They're flightless birds, but instead of having light bones, they have to be heavy, so when they dive for fish, they don't keep bobbing up to the surface. Okay, green. Go, James.
Zoo Parade for 5.
Zoo Parade for 5 points. Teams, the fastest man on earth, Usain Bolt, won the gold medal at the last Olympics. He has just adopted as his pet the fastest land animal on earth. Which animal is his pet, Kiara?
Cheetah.
A cheetah. He has a pet cheetah. Imagine the 2 of them going for a walk, huh? Go red.
Let's get physical for 5.
Get physical for 5 points. Teams, the mineral pyrite, as many 49ers discovered, illustrated that all that glitters is not what? North Forestville.
Gold.
Gold, that's right. Pyrite is known as fool's gold. You pick it up and you think, I'm rich, but all you got is a rock. Go red.
Green things for 15.
Green things for 15 points. Teams Goodyear and Bridgestone are keenly interested in the health of these latex-producing trees. What kind of trees are they? Seat Pleasant. Nope, no one has rung in. Someone has to ring in. Correct answer is rubber trees. Rubber trees. Your clues were Goodyear and Bridgestone, companies that make tires. Go again, red.
Body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, every kid knows that POS means parent over shoulder. We're near at the computer and your parents hovering nearby. What your parents are really doing is they're breathing down your what?
Back.
North Forestville.
Neck.
Your neck, that's right. They're breathing down your neck. They're over your shoulder. They're thinking, what are you up to on that computer? Go red.
Green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points. Teams, if you take a head of cauliflower and you slice it up, each of those pieces can be placed into a nutrient medium, and each one will grow back and look exactly like the original, meaning that they are all whats? What's the term? North Forestville.
Reproductive.
Not reproductive, you're in the right ballpark. All of those cauliflowers, the pieces of which came from the original, will grow into a replica of the original, meaning they are all whats?
Reproducive.
Clones. Clones is the right word. Go red.
Zoo parade for 15.
Zoo parade for 15 points. A multiple choice question. Teams, if you look at a fish, it has something called a lateral line on it. A lateral line. It's a line with little dips in it so that the fish can get a sense of what's going on around him. Here's your choices. Is the lateral line found on the top of the fish, underneath the fish, or along the side of the fish? Okay, Kiara.
The side.
The side, absolutely right. Who plays football over there or knows about football? You know what a lateral is? A lateral is a pass that goes which way? To the side. Good, red. Oh, the buzzer has rung. Close game. North Forestville right now 85. Seat Pleasant right behind at 75. We'll be back with round 2 in just a moment. Don't go away. And welcome back to Science Bowl. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. We're very happy to have 6 outstanding young people with us today. Let's find out a little bit about each of them. Let's go first to North Forestville Elementary, an award-winning school, top test scores in the county a few years ago, and I know you're all wearing your school uniforms today. You look great. Kiara, tell us about North Forestville. Who's your principal?
Mrs. Ellis.
Mrs. Ellis, she's out there rooting for you. And Miss Lamond, I know, is your sponsor. She's been a sponsor for many years. She always sends us great teams, and she helps us judge Science Bowl. She's just a terrific person. We're glad to have her associate with our game. Kiara, were there any alternates on your team?
Yes.
Who are they?
Deron Davis and Jasmine Freeman.
Wow, they're out there in the wings in the green room. We'll bring them up so you can get a chance to meet them and Miss Lamond in a few moments' time. Kiara, tell me what it is about North Forestville that you like best.
I like the teachers and
Actually, that's everything, isn't it? If the teachers are great, you got yourself a good school, don't you? You can put up with a lot else if the teachers are just terrific, and we know they are. Tell me about yourself. What do you do in your spare time?
play sports or go outside and play.
Yeah. And what do you want to do someday when you get older?
Be a forensic scientist.
Yeah, we were talking about that. A criminalist, you know. I think Jamaica also is interested in that. Are you fans of CSI?
Yes.
Yeah, what a great series that is. You know, looking at all those clues, they use an awful lot of good science on there. Keep up your good game, Kiara. Jamaica, tell us about yourself. This young lady has been in Girl Scouting for 6 years. Is that right? Yes. Now, is there a certain rank you're at now?
Yes, I'm a cadet.
You're a cadet. That's great. Of course, I have to ask, are you good at selling those cookies each year?
Yes.
Yes, all of your friends and neighbors and relatives, I'm sure, are happy to see you. Those Thin Mints, they sell themselves. So also, you want to do something with forensics someday?
Yes.
Yeah. I like how you're a very well-spoken, confident young woman, and I think Scouting has done you a world of good there. You're a great advertisement for it. Brandon, nice to have you here, young man. Tell us about yourself. What do you do in your spare time? And I know you play on a basketball team, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I usually play basketball for my friends.
Yeah.
I'm going into basketball season this year.
That's great. Well, you certainly have the height for it and the stature. Tell me, do you see yourself playing professionally someday, or do you have some other plans?
Sure, I probably could play professional.
Yeah. And if that wouldn't work out, what might be your fallback plan?
Probably be a scientist.
Yeah,
Thinking about designing video games.
That's great. Yeah, you told me how much you liked video games. Well, just relax and enjoy the rest of our game. You're playing a nice game here. Let's find out about Seat Pleasant. You know, a few years ago, Seat Pleasant, you started coming on Science Bowl. Now we really look forward to having you come back each year because you always do such a nice job. James, tell us about Seat Pleasant. Your principal is Dr. Lassiter.
Yes.
An award-winning principal over there, and you have two sponsors, don't you? Who are they?
Miss Edmonds and Miss Hardy.
And boy, two more enthused sponsors you could not meet. And we'll have them come out in just a few moments' time. They always send us great students. And did you have any alternates on your team, James?
Yes, we had Arlesia, Stefan, and Kevin.
Wonderful. And we appreciate all the work they did. And James, sit up just a little straighter so we can see what it says on your jerseys there. It says Seat Pleasant, Unbreakable,
Unshakable,
Unstoppable.
And we can't hide the Hornets' pride.
That's great. The Hornets' pride over there. Well, that's just great. James, what do you want to do someday?
Well, I want to become a paleontologist.
Paleontologist. We were talking about whether or not you'd find any fossils as yet, but you haven't. But, you know, go to this place in Beltsville we were talking about where they've developed kind of a little Jurassic Park here in Prince George's County, in Calvert Cliffs, where you can still find some shark's teeth down there from millions of years ago. Janina, nice to have you here, young lady. Tell us about yourself. What do you do in your spare time?
I write things, I read books, study my homework, study the one that we just copied in school, and I like singing and dancing.
That's wonderful. You know, I can tell you're a good student and a good reader because whenever we start reading the questions, you immediately start making associations. I can see you do that. Where do you sing, Janina?
Oh, I just sing at the house, but sometimes I perform at my old school.
That's great. Your old school, did you say? What's your old school?
SLU.
Very good. All right. Nice to have you today. And Manaya, young lady who is a born performer. She is a singer and she models, she dances. You cheerlead. Who do you cheerlead for?
3D Elite.
What's that?
We don't cheer for like a basketball game. We cheer for competitions.
And 3D Elite is a group of, is that the cheerleading group? Mm-hmm. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, cheerleading has really come a long way. Sometimes if you look at ESPN, they have cheerleading competitions. These are the best gymnasts you ever want to see. They're just amazing.
I do gymnastics too.
Do you? Well, that's perfect. That's a good marriage of your skills there. What do you want to do someday, Manaya?
I want to become a teacher and maybe a singer, a dancer, or a modeler.
You could do all those things. You're doing it right now, you know, and you could use your experience to teach others. Keep up your good work. Let's get back to our game. North Forestville 85, Seat Pleasant 75. Lots of points to give away. Last correct answer came from the red team, so Kiara, start us out, please.
Let's get physical for 10.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Teams, most elementary students have seen the wonderful science experiment called the dancing raisins. You drop raisins into an effervescent beverage, and you watch the raisins rise and fall and rise again as they ride what bubbles? What kind of bubbles do they ride? All right, James.
Sodium.
Not sodium bubbles, no, in effervescent beverages. You can drop these raisins and they can ride up and down. On what kinds of bubbles, Kiara?
Oxygen.
Carbon dioxide bubbles. That's the fizz in Coke and any kind of soda. Once the bubble reaches the surface, it bursts. The raisins fall back down. They get some more bubbles. They ride back up. You keep going up and down until it goes flat. Go. Red.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems for 10 points. Teams, you probably never thought about this, but people who are covered with tattoos have a thermoregulatory problem. Turns out they can't do this very well when it gets hot. All right, Kiara, put on your thinking cap. What can't they do very well?
Sweat.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You got all that pigment in those pores there, and you can't sweat, so that is a real liability. That's the way you play the game. Think about it. What makes sense? Go red. Yes, ma'am.
Science poppering for 10.
Science potpourri for 10 points. Teams, The scientist Charles Darwin wrote in his book Origin of Species the following, and I quote, "There is no greater anomaly in science in this world than a bird that cannot do what?" North Forestville?
Fly.
Fly, that's right. Imagine that. To create a bird with all those wings and feathers and not fly. That is, an anomaly means a strange thing, and you parse that well. Go, Kiara.
Dateline science for 10.
Dateline stands for?
10.
10 points. Teams, atop Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa, the tallest mountain in Africa, these ice sheets are disappearing almost by the day. What are those sheets of ice called atop Mount Kilimanjaro? Come on, Sea Pleasant.
Glaciers.
That's what I want to hear, the glaciers. The glaciers are retreating, they're drying up, and maybe it's based on what we're doing here on Earth. We don't know. Go. All right, 85, 105, you are 20 points behind. James?
Science potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points. Teams, these single strands of DNA and RNA wrapped in protein are the agents responsible for causing things like swine flu and AIDS and chicken pox. All of those diseases are caused by what kind of organism? All right, Kiara.
Mercury.
No, not mercury. What kinds of agents cause diseases like chicken pox and AIDS and swine flu? These organisms are literally single strands of DNA wrapped in protein, James.
Bacteria.
Virus. Virus. All this talk about the H1N1 virus, right? Okay, let's try again. Green. Yes, sir.
Oh.
James?
Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, if you're having a rough patch and your life just isn't going the way you want it to go, you might say that your life is no bed of these flowers, America's favorite. Kiara.
Roses.
Roses. It's no bed of roses out there sometimes, is it? Okay. Red, you padded your lead. Where next, Kiara?
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. All right, the question's getting a little tougher here. Teams, there is a specialized kind of oak tree in Europe where they harvest the outermost layer. It does grow back. They use this stuff because it floats on water, and they use it to plug up the bottles where wine is poured. What's the name of that substance that they take from the tree? Come on, Kiara.
Driftwater.
Driftwood? Not driftwood. That's a good try. James, what is this substance on the outside of this specialized tree in Europe that they harvest? It grows back, that they use it because it's lighter, it floats on water, and they use it to plug up wine bottles.
Wood.
Cork. Cork is what it's called. The cork in the wine bottle. Those are called cork oaks. Try again, Red.
Let's get physical for 15.
Let's get physical for 15 points. Teams, it was the astronomer Nicholas Copernicus who developed the theory that the Earth rotates on an what? See, Pleasant.
Axis. Axis.
Axis, that's right. The Earth rotates on its axis, but it revolves around the sun. A lot of people get those confused. You didn't. All right, you're within 10 points of the lead. James?
Dateline science for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. Teams, because of his work with this familiar legume, which he turned into a butter, George Washington Carver is still famous today. Come on, Seed Pleasant.
Peanuts.
Peanuts, that's right. He's the man who did everything with peanuts, and he made peanut butter. God love him for that. Okay, go, Seed Pleasant.
Dateline science for 5.
Dateline science for 5 points. Teams, the Centers for Disease Control is getting a little nervous. They're trying to explain to everybody why there's not enough H1N1 what for everybody, Kiara?
Medicine.
More specifically.
Flu shots.
Not quite. Seed Pleasant, the CDC is a little uncomfortable. They're trying to explain why there's not enough H1N1 what for everyone who wants it.
Vaccines.
Vaccine is the correct answer. Good. Green.
Green things for 25.
Green things for, oh, the big one in that category, teams, listen carefully. There was a famous story about a ship called the SS Bounty, and the captain was a strange man, Captain Bligh. He would not give water to his crewmates because he was trying to get these little plants that he was growing, these little breadfruit trees, to keep growing. He wanted to keep watering them. I will give you 25 points if you can give me the S initialed term for a young plant? All right, Seed Pleasant.
Sprout.
Sprout is absolutely right. Sprout or seedling. Either one would have been acceptable to our judges. Go Green.
Zoo Parade for 20.
Zoo Parade for 20 points. Teams, before there was cable TV and before there were dishes on everybody's roof, in order to pick up a television signal, you needed an antenna that was named for what animal's auditory organs? What was the name of the antenna that you needed to pick up a TV show? Zoo Parade, animal name. Come on, Seed Pleasant.
Satellite.
An animal name, an animal name. North Forestville, what's the animal name?
Antelope. Antelope.
Nope. Rabbit ears. Rabbit ears was the name of the antenna on the television. Try again, Green.
Let's get physical for 20.
Let's get physical for 20 points. Teams, look at the monitor, please. This is a visual question. Teams, you can see Scorpio there. Scorpio is a sign of the zodiac. This group of stars in a geometric shape that resembles an animal, in this case a scorpion, is known as what kind of group of stars? We call that kind of group a what? For 20 points. Kiara?
Constellation.
You got it, young lady. That's what I want to hear. A constellation. The constellation Scorpio. Red.
Body systems for 20.
Body systems for 20 points. Teams, if your body's pleural cavity, P-L-E-U-R-A-L, is punctured, or if it fills with fluid, you develop something called pneumothorax, which means what body organs collapse? Kiara.
Lungs.
Lungs. You have a collapsed lung. Absolutely right. Good. And with that, we have a new leader. 150 to 145. Red. Go.
Potpourri for 20.
Science potpourri for 20 points. Teams, 1 minute and 30 seconds left in our game. Teams Bionics, which is short for biological electronics, is involved in developing artificial eyes and ears and brains for artificial people that are called these. North Forestville.
Robots.
Robots, that's right. They are involved in robots. Thank you, Brandon, for your help. Go Red.
Dateline Science for 20.
Dateline for 20 points. Teams, it was the artist Leonardo da Vinci and the scientist Igor Sikorsky who noticed how dragonflies flew and how maple leaves twirled, and they came up with an idea for what kind of aircraft? Kiara.
Airplanes.
More specifically.
Aerials.
Not aerials, no. See, Pleasant, you got a break here. By looking at dragonflies and maple seeds, both Da Vinci and Sikorsky came up with an idea for what kind of aircraft?
Jet.
Helicopters. Helicopters. Go Red. Kiara, go.
Let's get physical for 25.
Let's get physical 25. The big one in that category, sometimes you open the refrigerator, whoo, the milk has gone sour. Something happened in there. The bacteria took over. It changed all of the sugar into alcohol and carbon dioxide. What F initial term describes when milk goes sour? The buzzer is rung, but you can still ring in. All right, Seed Pleasant.
Fungus.
Not fungus, no. North Forestville, the F initial term that describes the process when milk goes sour. Do you have an idea? You don't need to. You've already won. Fermentation is the answer we're looking for. It looks like North Forestville has done it. We'll be back in a moment. And welcome back to Science Bowl. Hope you enjoyed this game at home as much as we did here in the studio. 6 outstanding young people, winners all, and they did a commendable job. Our final tally today, a close score. Seat Pleasant 145, North Forestville 170. Congratulations, North Forestville, Brandon and Kiara and Jamaica. First time I've seen you smile all day, with good reason there. And then back there, say hello to Denron and Jasmine and Miss Lamont. I know you're very proud of the team, as you should be. Let's see some smiles over here, too. You guys played a terrific game. Manaya and James and Janina, you played a wonderful game. And look at the shadow team they have back there. Look at everybody they brought from Seat Pleasant today. Stefan, Arlesia, and Kevin. Miss Edmonds, Miss Hardy, always a joy to have you here with us today. And thank you for watching. Hope to see you next time on another edition of Science Bowl. Bye now.